He's going to come and share with us as the Lord shall bless him. Let's say amen for him. From Chicago, Illinois. Chicago is a good town. I assume there's some saints in Chicago. This is one of our brothers from Chicago. Let's say amen as he shall bless the Lord.
Amen. God bless you all. Like I said, it's an honor to be here and give an honor to the bishop who shall be here. To my wife. To all the saints and all the elders and ministers. I really stood and rose to really just give you a quick testimony, to share something with you quickly. And what I want you to remember, if you remember nothing else, remember the thought, it's never too late. It's never too late. So at the end of it, I don't care what it looks like, how long it's been, I don't care what's going on. You got to be able to tell yourself it's never too late. And so we were back in Chicago. We were visiting a husband and wife, and they did a lot of procedures on him, a test on him, diagnostic test, and found out they thought he had a lot of massive blockage in his heart, and maybe heart disease, and maybe his heart was enlarged. I mean, they thought all the worst. And the brother, he had gone through a similar procedure at least 2 or 3 times. And so we got there, and we actually had fun. We sat and we talked and laughed and joked and encouraged each other. And we walked out the road that night, and I said, we'll be back in the morning. After I left, I thought about myself, we really didn't pray. We didn't get a chance to pray. We didn't get a chance to pray. But I went on home, and I told him I'd be back the next morning. So the next morning, after I dropped my wife off, I said, I'm going over to the hospital. Unusually, I got there, they'd already wheeled him down to the OR. And I felt really bad, but inside I grieved because I said, you know what, I didn't get a chance to pray. I knew that was my assignment. That was my assignment to pray. And you know, I sat there in the middle of the hall and I said, God, you know what? I'm going to reclaim my assignment. I understood it was never too late. As long as God is in charge, it's never too late. And so as I stood there and they said a quick prayer, a doctor, I guess he perceived I was a preacher, and he took me back to the OR. And I told him, you never hear that stuff. You don't just get escorted to OR. Not unless you got some credentials, MDs, and a lot of other stuff behind your back. You don't get escorted to the OR. And so they escorted me back to the OR, and I stood there, and I found them, and they said, the doctor walked in and said, we've been waiting at least 45 minutes to get this procedure done, to start it. But for whatever reason, they didn't know. They could not start the procedure.
That's right.
So he sat waiting for 45 minutes to get the procedure done when there was no one in the OR lined up before him. Now, y'all know hospitals still make money, so they get you in and get you out.
That's right.
You're not going to just sit in the OR waiting room for 45 minutes. They start what they thought was a massive heart procedure. Because it was so that they were prepared to put a couple of stents in his heart. They were prepared to take the balloons and other blockages. I mean, they were preparing for the absolute worst. But I went in there and I said, okay, well, since y'all was waiting, obviously, God, you let me reclaim my assignment. And so I understood it's never too late to do what he told you to do. And so we sat there in that little OR room, and the doctor left. I said, we're just going to say a quick prayer. We didn't have 20 minutes. And in the OR, the cell phones don't work, so you couldn't call anybody. Because, most times you would think, let's call the right person who we know we get a prayer through. You want to call the intercessors and everybody else. But God has a way of when it's time for you to do what you're supposed to do, it's only you and him. It's only you and him. And so I stood there, me, the wife, and him, with all the tubes hooked up to him, waiting to be whisked off into the operating room. And we said a quick prayer. And I declare I left. I'm a coffee drinker. I told the wife, you might as well go home. She had slept there. I said, go into the group, because they told me it would be at least a 6-hour procedure. Because they didn't know to the extent of damage they would have to do. They said it'll take 2 hours just in preparatory work. And after we go in, depending on what we do, we may spend another 4 to 6 hours inside doing what we need to do. By the time I got home, I got a call from the wife, a text message from the wife. They called her and said, we're finished. And so she rushed back over there and sent me a text. I said, well, what does that mean? Well, we're finished. Because I know we had just prayed. And you know, if you're not careful, the enemy will speak to your mind. Because his goal was to remind me that I had missed my assignment. That I was too late in doing what I was supposed to do, that I failed. She got back there and texted me later. I said, so what happened? What happened? I want to know what happened. Because I believe what God was able to do. She said, well, they went in, and about 2 hours into it, they closed him up and came back out. She said the doctor sat and talked to her, and she said, well, what did you find? They asked her, is this the same person that they saw yesterday with all the checks and all the other stuff? They had charts and blood work and everything. Right. And then he was in turmoil because, they didn't let him eat. I mean, they were prepared for the absolute worst. And they said, we don't see anything. They saw nothing wrong with inside. And so what we understood was, it's never too late to do what you're supposed to do. So I really stood to encourage you that I don't care if you were supposed to do it yesterday, today is the day you can't do it. You see, what we were saying was God wanted my yes because it was something inside. And so once I got into that hard place, that tight place, and I gave my yes, my brother got his miracle. And so I stood to encourage you and testify to tell you, you don't know what you're holding up for your brother and yourself. Just because you haven't said your own yes. So if you don't remember anything else, understand God is still waiting on the yes, and it's never too late. It's never too late. So look at your neighbor and say, it's never too late. I don't care how hard it looks. I don't care how bad it gets. I don't care how rough the situation got. I don't care because even at the tomb, he had been dead. Yes, sir. For days. And they said, well, had you been there earlier, we wouldn't have this dilemma. Right. But I understood, Jesus understood it's never too late. Right. And so if you remember this, it's never too late because all he wants is your yes. That's all he wants is your yes. So as we go through the rest of the day, here at the convocation, give him your yes. All right.
My soul said yes, yes, yes. My soul said yes, yes. My soul said yes, yes, yes. He's the one, yeah. Got the victory, got the victory. Stay, stay. Got the victory. Now the chorus, my soul. Yeah, yeah. Why you standing? Why you standing? Why you standing? Do this. Get this right. Whenever God calls, you always want to answer one word. What's that? Try that again. Whenever God makes a call on you, whenever, what's your answer going to be? You know what that means? That makes you what they criticize a yes man or a yes woman. If you God's yes man or yes woman, just get out of your seat and find 4 people. Go bless them and tell them, I'm glad I'm a yes man. I'm glad I'm a yes woman. That's what I say. Yes,